What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is officially Sunday, and welcome to a new all-time high for Bitcoin, albeit you might not, if you haven't seen it, by the way, you definitely would have missed out on the fact that we are at an all-time high, or we were this morning. We're not anymore. 122,000. It may even turn to be a red day, which is pretty crazy. If you think about that, broken all-time high, dumperino for the rest of the day. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about why it is. First and foremost, though, do me a favor, smash up the like button, share this far and wide. YouTube gave me another stupid strike today for literally no reason whatsoever, which the last time this happened, it like super suppressed the content. So if you can, definitely share it out, definitely hit the like button, do all that kind of good stuff, because it massively helps out. Like, you can already tell that it's been suppressed right now with a number of people in here. So if you could do that, that would be great and vastly appreciated. Likewise here on TikTok as well. Do me a favor, tap the screen, do all that kind of good stuff. Let's absolutely get things moving. So yeah, I feel better, man. Honestly, I really wasn't very well on very well on Saturday. Actually, I was struggling yesterday, so I was kind of thinking of doing a bit of a live, but I didn't anyway. I was just like, man, I am so cooked right now, it's unbelievable. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the markets. We'll talk a little bit about everything that's going on, and yeah, we'll sort of try and get into, I guess, what's coming this week. It's very rare that we get a pump on a Sunday, particularly an all-time high pump as well. Altcoins are getting absolutely hammered right now, which is, it doesn't, none of this makes any sense unless you know what I know. And if you know what I know, then it does kind of make sense. And it's just an age-old trick in the book that always happens and could be signaling what we think is going to come tomorrow morning. So anyway, let's say hello to a few people. We're going to get into it all as we do. So what's going on, Craig? Good to see you. As always, welcome in. Tim's here as well. Dave, Ron, Tomato Pete, Chipper, John Shaw in the house. What's going on, buddy? Curtis, Chris Heaney. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you. Welcome in. Tomato Pete's here. Andy Box is here as well. And then welcome in to everybody here on TikTok as well. So Sam, welcome in. Sunflowers in the building. What's going on? Oh, I did the thing, though, where I'm wearing a light-coloured shirt. Oh, here we are, look. See, I mean, I have got my jumper in here. I could do this. Weirdly, when I need to read the TikTok chat, and then I can see it. Anyway, we'll survive. I don't know how, but we will survive. So with that being said, let's get into it. TikTok, you need to look this way. And yeah, let's get into... Oh, man, I forgot to turn that. I forgot to change that. Let me change that right now. That's awful. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Right, there we go. Fine. Okay. That's way better. So what do we get today on BTC? Well, we got this kind of massive move. I mean, it's kind of, you could argue, very much played out as we expected. This is on 12-hour chart, by the way. Very much played out, obviously, from the bottom here, continuation. Now, what's weird about today is that it doesn't make any sense, okay? There is no rhyme or reason that we would get such a big spike on a Sunday. For example, this is obviously the 12-hour chart, so you have to take this move. In fact, let's go to the daily chart, and then we can see it. So, for example, we literally went from 122,000, wicked up nearly 3% in a singular day. That doesn't make any sense. Here's the trend line, though, that is kind of what we're looking for the break. Yes, we did break it. However, we did get rejected on this line. Now, there is a couple of reasons why, and I'm just going to come out and say it, right? The reality is that we have seen what, in my prediction, by the way, and my thought process is very much an exchange game, right? Manipulation of exchange, whatever you want to call it, right? We've definitely seen liquidity hunting. We've definitely seen false narratives. At the minute, we're actually seeing inflows from retail investors that we haven't actually seen for a while. They are definitely coming back into the market. There are definitely signs that retail is deciding to buy, which is good news. This is kind of why you've got this. Now, what does this also mean? This means that we could just set for another move. It also tells us that this potential move here, this bit, is an artificial pump, okay? Now you may be thinking, what the hell is that to? But how is that an artificial pump? Let me educate you all, as always, when we bring this up. Let's go into Wintermute. Wintermute are a good one to use. And we've kind of looked at this before, and we've obviously dived deeper into some of this stuff. And you can sort of see what's happening in some of this exchange movement, some of these coin movements, some of the values in which have been moved around. I'm literally going to chuck this in at $10 million. This will show us any whale movement, any wallet movement, anything, by the way, that we have seen over the price of 10 million quid. Now, if you've been part of this channel for a while, then you will already see what I see. If you are not, then I am sorry to tell you this, but you are going to have to sit and enjoy the next few bits. And this may shatter your dreams of this cryptocurrency market, or it may unfold that you kind of already knew this. So we're going to flick back. We're going to flick back to here. This is where we are seeing the initial move. So 12 hours ago, 13 hours ago, really, if we go to the hourly chart as an example, you can probably start to see this a little bit more favorably. So the Saturday night, we got the big moves coming in around 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? So we're talking, what, the best part of like 13, 14, 15 hours ago. I'm not bearish, Curtis, by the way, but I actually think this is a pretty, I actually think this is a really obvious thing, and I'm absolutely not bearish. I think it's just worthwhile explaining exactly what's going on. So 3 o'clock in the morning, let's say 12 to 15 hours ago, and we also got another big spike, 5 o'clock in the morning, so a little bit less, okay? So when you start looking at this, when you go to 12 to 13 hours ago, what do you see? You see humongous amounts of cryptocurrency flowing into exchanges, okay? So when crypto goes into exchanges, generally speaking, you are going to see a price increase, okay? So for example, 13 hours ago, Binance had $77 million worth of Bitcoin dumped into its account. It also then had 238 Bitcoin by 11 hours ago, 29 million, etc., etc. You can see this as well as I can see it, okay? This isn't secret. This is all on-chain data. And what you can sort of see here is that this was a very well-coordinated push. So 20 million here, 23 million of Ethereum. It's all very coordinated. Don't forget, ETH spiked to 4,600 just out of nowhere, absolutely spiked up. So again, you can see this kind of coming in. Now, what then you do is you say, well, okay, well, this pushed the market way high. This was absolutely aligned to this. It pushed us to a brand new all-time high. Now, here's the I didn't mean to do that. Here's the educational bit. What does a brand new Bitcoin, what is going on? What is going on? I think everything's having a meltdown. Help me, people. They're flipping heck. Okay, let me restart this. What does Bitcoin breaking a new all-time high do? Okay, this is like a little bit of a test, okay? So whether you guys know or not. If you break all-time highs, what happens? So tomorrow, I'll tell you what will happen. CNBC will be reporting it. Fox News Business will be reporting it. Everyone in there now will be going, oh, Bitcoin broke a new all-time high. You don't have to go and look at social media to understand that this is a play. So what do people do? When you get new all-time highs, people flood to exchanges, whether that's Coinbase, Binance, Mexi, whatever it is, right? Okay. To confirm this, you then have to go into, okay, where has the dumps been on the back of this then? So, hold on a minute. So where were the dumps? So we started dumping 9 o'clock, okay? So a few hours afterwards, after the all-time high, as always, we started dumping, and we've dumped ever since, okay? So we dumped from 9 to 11, we continued dumping at 1 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock. So you'd argue then 12 hours ago, but between sort of 8 and 12 hours ago, we started dumping, okay? So then you go back to here, and you see the complete opposite of what we're looking at. So once again, you see Binance dumping $17 million worth of Bitcoin back into Wintermute. You then see the same again here, and then the real push at the last minute right now, where they are absolutely dumping the market 5 hours ago, 15 million, 12 million, 15 million. So this, this best part of 65 million dumped back into Wintermute. Again, Binance continued to dump 12.5 million. Bear in mind, this is one exchange, right? This is one exchange out of all of them. This isn't like a what's kind of the word I'll be looking for? This isn't like deliberate. Well, it is deliberate. This isn't just retail like panicking or anything like that. This is literally games. And then you kind of go, well, okay, how does this then work out in the other reason? Why would they be doing that? That doesn't seem fair. Okay, well, you're probably right. It doesn't seem fair. So then you come to this chart, and this tells you everything you need to know. Remember, we've talked about this box here. Basically, that number there is what exchanges will have made today. Think about this, okay? This is where you kind of need to just understand the game that we play, and the game we play isn't fair, all right? It's not fair. Some people have to lose in order for other people to win. It's as simple as that. So $403 million. If Bitcoin continues to push to new all-time highs, okay? So Bitcoin goes on an absolute rampage. It prints new all-time highs and keeps going. What you see then is you see massive long positions making huge amounts of gains. You then see people taking huge amounts of profits. And if you don't believe me, by the way, I can show you a DeFi project right now that is happening with. Doesn't mean that I'm bearish long term. Doesn't mean I think the market cycle tops in, by the way, because we'll talk about that in a minute. What it does tell us, though, is that this is absolutely exchanges going, no. We are taking our piece of the pie. And that's exactly what happened, right? That is exactly what happened today. I want to show you something else as well, which I think is important to reference. Whether I can find it, oh, I can. Perfect. Look at this. Honestly, sometimes I amaze myself. So if you don't believe what I'm talking about, this should give you the absolute confirmation of exactly what I'm talking about. As of yesterday, the 4th of October, 99.3% of the entire Bitcoin supply was in profit, okay? Was in profit, whether that's through trading, whether that's through spot bags, etc., 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 okay? So you combine Bitcoin all-time high with exchanges dumping and 99.3% of people. This number now won't be the case. This number will be way less than this now. Gives you basically the point at which we get to, which is everyone and their nan is getting wrecked on this move because the exchanges want paying, and they want paying by $403 million. Again, if you don't believe me, and you may not, you may say, "2bit, you are literally sticking a tinfoil hat on. You are full of so much crap." Look at this. In the last 24 hours, Binance themselves have made $100 million through liquidations. $100 million through liquidations. Think about that. Think about that for 1 second. Now, okay. So given all that, given the fact we basically know we got scammed today, or if you traded the opportunity, you may have got scammed. If you suddenly went, man, I'm super bullish on this long trade, or you saw Bitcoin 125K and you're like, okay, I'm buying in because it's going way higher. These are you. This is the 100 million that gets eaten up by exchanges. That doesn't mean, though, right? That doesn't mean that we have to be super bearish. And actually, if anything, it probably confirms the fact that we're going way higher. Only it's not yet. All right? It's not yet. This is where we talk about market suppression. And I would tell you to go and watch a video that I did earlier on talking about kind of Q4, how important it's going to be, but YouTube have removed it because they said that it's got harmful and dangerous content in it, which is a lie. It absolutely isn't. It did have the word rich in the title, which maybe is a problem, but anyway, lesson learnt again, should we say. But yeah, that's kind of where we get to. Now, that doesn't, like I said, mean that we are going to go super bullish, super bearish. What's also interesting as well is when you kind of put this in terms of some of the cycle top moves, it kind of all starts to play out pretty favorably. And if you go here, not on the 4-hour chart, go on the daily chart, then you sort of get into this world of saying, well, yeah, we kind of did touch where we sort of expected to do. But the positive news is I think we've got way more to come. Think about this. We actually saw a big old spike here before we continue to push up. The key thing to think about is ending the day green. That is important, okay? If we end the day red, that's not going to work out too well, I don't think. And it's probably going to reset the week. I think if we end the week green, I could see us pushing for a new all-time high by Wednesday, maybe Thursday, the latest. Because what you'll do is you'll see this big sell-off and then everything will start to push again, I think. What's interesting, by the way, and yeah, a couple of coins out there. Casper's getting smashed. I don't know if you guys sold out of yours. I told you guys I was going to exit this position this weekend. I did. And yeah, I'm probably pretty glad I did, actually, in fairness. Because, yeah, it was not good. Not good. So, yeah, I'm out of that. Now, apparently they're doing some sort of world record test on TPSs. I have no idea. Obi Joe's a member for 1 month. What's going on, bro? Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So, yeah, that's kind of where I get to. Altcoins, though, having a pretty pants day with a number of them. Look at Asta down 184. Absolutely getting completely wrecked. Okay, so that's kind of where we set up in terms of charts. Man, what is going on here with all this? I need to just delete this out. There we go. That is kind of where we get set up on here. There's, you know, if you look at kind of longer term trend lines, by the way, let's take out the daily chart here on BTC and go from the bottom. Everything's still playing out pretty favorably, actually. So take the bottom here and you start to play this up. It's all still, you know, I think that's still a pretty nice chart. I think that's a pretty, you know, pretty solid move as to where we're going right now, and still holds pretty consistent with what we've kind of talked about. So I'm not stressing it too much. When you start looking at some of the EMAs as well, a very much bullish setup. So I don't want people to think I've suddenly gone like super macro bearish in the markets. I really, really haven't, by the way. I think everything is kind of playing out, but worthwhile thinking about that. Okay, I'm not going to go too much. Here's one thing to work out. At least you're not the German government. That could be good news, by the way, who currently hold $867 worth of Bitcoin because they sold 52 billion. I mean, it could be worse, couldn't it? I mean, this is the people that sell coins way too early. You know, I mean, I can tell you a few stories of coins I definitely sold too early. But anyway, Tomato P says, crypto exchange out your friend. Treat them like a public toilet. Do your business and leave. Exactly. Paul, what's going on? Good to see you, man. How much is a retrace or dump? Well, definitely you'd argue both are probably true. Both are probably true right now. Bloody Sunday as usual. Well, not yet, Paul. We've got to stay close to it. Bitcoin may rally back up. Don't forget, the games are well and truly underway to liquidate longs, liquidate shorts, basically completely panic the market a little bit more. If you look at kind of where we did actually move on this, this move, this kind of retest, that's the kind of line we're looking for. Obviously we're coming back down to retest this lower range as well. So nothing too shabby at the minute. And then this kind of plays out. We've seen this pattern before in the short term, the retest, the down, the retest, the down, psh. All right. You've also got the double bottom W pattern here that's playing out. This is the breakout though. We need to see this break over the next probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 days maybe. 2 or 3 days to get us more confirmation as to what that is. Holding with where we got. What's going on, Fairground? Sorry, man, I didn't see that. Casey's in the building as well. Red Cross in the hour and day. Yeah, it's crazy though. What's your opinion on XRP the next few months? I'm pretty bullish. I'm not gonna lie. Do you think the ETF will play a big manipulation in the market? Not necessarily ETFs. The only one that could be a pretty crazy would be the XRP ones. Pull back to 116. I think last chance to buy, in my opinion. I mean, the reality is that historically, and you look at data, historically, alts are going to move in the next. I mean, you're looking at the last 2 weeks of October, altcoins might start to really make some moves. This may be your last chance to grab some bargains. So altcoins dumping, not too bothered about right now. I think depending on where you are and depending on what your position is, then you might be doing it. Thoughts on Zcash? Killing it, way overpriced, and is absolutely being driven on hype and FOMO right now. So I wouldn't touch it. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make some gains on it, but it's due an absolute dump. That's what I would say with Zcash, but it's been going crazy. What's it out right now? Zcash is at, I did put it on one of my trackers here. There. I mean, it's up another 4%. It's going absolutely insane. I mean, look at this thing. Look at it. Freaking Zcash right now. I mean, it's absolutely insane. 162 bucks. Absolutely wild. But privacy coins may do some well. What's interesting is we're already starting to see a little bit of a pivot from the UK governments. Just a little bit. We'll talk about that in a minute, but good news. Anyway. Sitecoin, what's going on, Alvin? Alvin, did you manage to get your camera working? Where do you think Q4 bull run will end, December or January? Still 2025. There's nothing telling me that 2025 is not the end. So yeah, I think Q4 is going to be pretty crazy, by the way. But anyway, you could see that video, but YouTube removed it. Just to let you kind of know, look at this. Already Q4 setting up pretty optimistic. Ethereum up 8.6, Bitcoin up 7.6, and October already playing 7.66%. Good news as that all starts to play out as we hope and becomes way more favorable. What's also worth noting, by the way, just a couple of charts for you guys here. What's going on, Devo? Bitcoin on exchange balances did remove to a 5-year low, by the way. It's pretty crazy, back to 2021. So we haven't seen Bitcoin on exchanges as low as we've got right now since before 2021. So, pretty interesting as this kind of all plays out, if you ask me. And certainly, it is an obvious kind of move that you are seeing what we talked about right at the very start of this live stream, the fact that you've got this manipulation effect. Remember, less supply means, more volatility in the markets. But that was interesting. And just to kind of give you some context here as well, by the way, that, last week, just an example, ETF, so institutional buying of cryptocurrency, was the second highest week ever. Think about that. It's pretty insane. The second highest week ever for Bitcoin ETFs this week. We have never seen a week as high. Well, sorry, we've seen 1 week as high. But look at some of this. We had $1 billion inflow on the 3rd. Now, this could then play out in the coming few days. This may be why we're seeing this market correction. Maybe exchanges, maybe, Larry's phoned up. Man, who runs Binance again? I can't remember his name. Who is it? Not CZ. Who is it? Who's the one that runs Binance? Come on. It's a competition, so you can remember it. Who is it? I can't think who it is. All I've got in my head is Justin Sun, and it's not Justin Sun because it's Tron. Who the heck runs Binance? Come on, someone must know. Richard Teng, Jesus, duck one. Maybe Larry Fink phoned Richard Teng, and he's like, bro, this 125 is not going to work. It's not going to work. We've got these new ETFs going live this week. Get the price back down again. Richard Teng's like, sell all the Bitcoin. But yeah, $1 billion flowed in on the 3rd. Look at this though, a big week, big week actually, about $3.4 billion that came in last week. So watch out, we could see even more this week. This only goes to confirm exactly what I was talking about earlier on. Binance is dumping Bitcoin and Ethereum to an all-time high to liquidate millions of longs, exactly like we were discussing earlier on. And I think what's interesting, by the way, the Federal Reserve producing this, I thought this was worthwhile thinking about. New Federal Reserve studies showing that aging population and rising wealth will keep fueling asset demand through the year 2100. Okay, I know we're going super bullish. We're super max bullish. I think I'll be, if I can make it to 2100, 126. I reckon it's going to be fine though. I'll be, I'll be cryogenically frozen when Bitcoin gets to like 300,000. But yeah, the entire century capital rotation. This is why I think, and again, this is not financial advice. This is just what I think is a good idea. Get some Bitcoin, get some Ethereum, get some top tier cryptocurrencies for your kids. All right. I think it's a good idea. All right. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. Doesn't mean you have to go and do it. Be selfish, whatever you want to do. If you don't have any kids, don't worry about it. But you think about where digital assets, in my opinion, by the way, are going to go, then it might be a worthwhile shout. Best buy today. I mean, any altcoins taking an absolute dump. Ardon, yeah, a little bit. Honestly, I was terrible yesterday. Terrible yesterday. What's going on, Vern? Good to see you, man. Hunter's in the building. What's going on, bro? Uphold will stop my payment method and bypass the bank to buy crypto. Lloyds won't allow me to load a debit card, so I've opened a Revolt account. Nice, Andy. I like it. I like it. Will you sell your kids BTC before the end of the year or just hold it? I'd probably just hold it. It's one of those that just goes into a wallet and I just don't even, I couldn't even tell you what's in there at the minute. It's just like a little bit every month, goes into a wallet, and I just don't even think about it. It's just like, it's there. It's not like, I don't put like crazy amounts in it. Like, I've just like dumped 10 G's in there, but just put a little bit in there, chuck it in there, doesn't matter. Bitcoin is one of those that I think is fairly solid in terms of a longer term view versus, kind of short term. Man, bullish on you, Vern. Thank you so much. Red Capital here giving us a pretty view and interest in that. The new all-time high for Bitcoin into a picture-perfect rejection from this crucial trendline resistance. Again, what we've been talking about. No surprise. No shit. Sherlock, I think, is probably where we get to. The trendline that Bitcoin needs to break, convincing to end the trend acceleration and prolonged price discovery. That's the one we've got on the chart. If you are, by the way, as a channel member, you would have got the full breakdown in the premium Discord group that did talk exactly about what was going to be the setup on this, and more importantly, what we got for some altcoins. Well, if you want to do that, just go to channel member. Looks like Obijo did earlier on. That gets you instant access to our premium Discord, or subscribe here on TikTok. You also get access to our Discord. If you want to join it, link in the bio, link in the description. Check it out. Worthwhile. Interesting enough, Morgan Stanley says it will support its 16,000 financial advisors managing a $2 trillion investment if they wish to allocate to Bitcoin. Again, probably just fuels the reason why we saw a dump in the market. They're like, no, we're getting in this week. Hey, we're getting in this week. We've got 21 XRP ETFs to launch. We've got, 4 more Bitcoin BlackRock ETFs to sort. Like, stop pumping the markets. Anyway, this could be pretty interesting. $2 trillion heading to cryptocurrency. Fingers crossed. D says, do you think we're going to see an altcoin season like 2017? Yes. I think it could be even bigger, though. That's my view. Go and check some content on my YouTube channel where I talk about altcoins and what I think is going to come. I think it's just going to come a little bit late. I actually think altcoins could move by the end of October. Pretty big. Not financial advice. Never is on this channel. Just saying. According to YouTube, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. Different video. And then look, just quick one for this week. Nothing really super crazy, but look, Delta Airlines, PepsiCo could be a good one. Constellation Brands, McCormick, Levi Strauss, and Tilray all have their earnings this week. I don't necessarily think they're the biggest ones in the world, but what it will show is where is the economy moving in the US. This is going to be a key indicator as we move in. Bear in mind right now, the US government is shut down. Therefore, we are not getting data. We're not going to get reports. This could impact Fed rate cuts. Again, that's going to be for a different live stream. We'll probably talk about that maybe at some point this week, which is, could we see the Fed not cut rates next time? That would be crazy, but it's not for tonight, though. All right? It's not for tonight. And then finally, just a quick note on the UK. The UK is going to remove its ban on Bitcoin ETFs this week. Hey, I mean, it's slightly good news. Let's call it slightly good news, okay? It's not super good news. It's slightly good news. We need to get this whole, tax, unrealized gains info to HMRC gone. That needs to go because that's not good. But look, this is a start of a 10. Could unlock a number of opportunities out there. Let's hope it does. Okay, they may get a solution quick. That's true. Well, that's true. I believe they've put 2 things through now, and the Democrats, again, I'm not going to make this political. Let's call it one side hasn't said yes. Let's just call it that. Matt, what's going on? We need digital currency going here in the UK. Yeah, well, we definitely need to not have them checking unrealized gains. That would be a freaking disaster. Wishful thinking is going to unlock. Yeah, exactly, Holmes. Investment call happening afterwards. I mean, I'm cool either way. If there isn't anything to discuss, then no, because I've got stuff I need to do. But if you guys want to call, then I'm happy to jump on one. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to kind of see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, all of that, by the way, playing out to be okay. Maybe starts the week relatively strong. Okay, what else do we get in terms of news? Wall Street crypto industry says tokenization will reshape global markets. I think that's an obvious one. From things like Tesla to Nvidia, we could absolutely see traded around the clock. This is where, if you haven't been watching, Ondo Finance, Ethereum will all benefit if this goes to a 24-hour trading opportunity, particularly with futures and obviously with treasuries. That could be pretty good news. So look, it's not going to come over the course of the next 24 hours, but certainly is worth thinking about. What it also says for me is Wall Street's mass appetite to buy into this market could be fueled even more this week. What I wanted to just discuss really quickly, I've actually got a full video coming out about Will There Be Financial and Asta. I think it'll probably be tomorrow, but loads of people have been kind of talking about this. Will There Be Financial selling locked tokens to Hut 8 for 25 cents? This is basically part of their strategic reserve. These aren't for sale. I don't believe they're going to be sale. Now, look, I mean, nothing's ever 100% in this market. They could dump them tomorrow, but the previous existing treasury tokens being sold to Hut 8, Donald Trump's junior involvement in the high-profile crypto events, highlighting the family's ongoing interest. They current price is about 20 cents. So technically, they did buy them. They did buy them a little bit higher than the current price. I don't believe they are going to sell them. Maybe if it rallies to 30 cents, it could even be an indication, though, where it's going to come. Ultimately, they just lost money on this. I don't know the total number they bought, by the way. I don't know if anyone does, but I don't believe it's been disclosed as the exact number that they did buy. But could be an indication of more things to come. Currently, like we said, Will There Be Financial? Let's just check on Bitcoin really quickly. Yeah, so Bitcoin's moving back up again, which is kind of nice. Will There Be Financial? Currently sitting at 1984. You know, so not the craziest of prices. Still holding on to this trend line or just below it. This is kind of what I'm looking for as they set up to break. Could indicate some positive moves to the upside. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, we'll keep an eye on BTC. But yeah, that could be good news. Now, interesting enough, and whenever you see market dumps, by the way, people decide to grab a bag. Whales go all in on Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETFs record 4.5 billion. This is what we talked about. This is obviously on increased demand. We're expecting way more ETFs coming in, and we're seeing obviously this skyrocket. Spot Bitcoin ETFs recording 3.24 billion worth of inflows in the just concluded week. If we were to get another week like we've just had, you would absolutely start to see a pretty tasty price, I think, on BTC. I think it would certainly see a significant rally and a significant move to the upside. So yeah, we will see. Yeah. What, Callum? Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, I did actually have a video out that YouTube removed, so yeah, I'm so bitter about it. I'm so bitter. This happened before with my XRP video, and then about a week in, it just all went back to normal. It's just like, come on. It kills views. Like, it's killing the live stream right now. We've got 48 people in the live stream, 164 views. I've literally got more people on TikTok than I have on YouTube. It just is the most annoying thing in the world. Anyway, moving on. Otherwise, I'm going to get really wound up about it. Chili's will be huge. I hope so for you. Put it here on TikTok. Maybe. I now officially have more people watching me on TikTok than I do on YouTube. It's so annoying. And then you try and speak to somebody and they just don't care. They're like, no, we definitely checked your content. You said that last time. And then a week later, everything was fine because you literally haven't checked my content. Anyway, moving on. Right, moving on. Stop talking about it. Bull market indicators are now showing still 0. I bet you didn't think that. Thought that maybe you'd got one. Not to be the case. Some are getting a little bit closer. You know, you got things like alt season index is at, 75. Well, 67, 75 is deemed as a bull market top. Bitcoin dominance is coming down. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so there's a couple that are getting closer. They're not there yet, though. Okay, they're not there yet. We still sit at 0 bull market top indicators, which should give you some confidence to a degree that the market is going higher, hopefully. It's so frustrating that the market these past couple of months. Yeah, but when you look back on it, you kind of just go, well, it's just part of the cycle, isn't it? Nothing ever goes straight up. And sometimes you got to understand, people don't like giving money away for free. And if you think about exchanges, you think about treasury companies and all that kind of stuff, the best thing, I actually read a post on Reddit earlier. It's a pretty interesting post, actually. It was a guy that I'd seen Bitcoin at 45k, and he decided, I'm not going to buy in at 45k. I'm going to wait for it to retrace. It's going to come back down. You know, all those people that tell us that everything's going to be super bearish. And then he went to 50k, 60k, 70k. Decided, right, I'm buying in at 70k. Bought 70k, went up a little bit. Then Pump Fund started, was like, oh man, I haven't really made any money on Bitcoin. Decided that he was going to take all his money and go and play on the circus. on pump fun in the whole Solana, you know, roller coaster that it is, and basically has seen Bitcoin at 40k, got to the point now where Bitcoin's at 125k and has less money than he started with. They are the people that are your exit liquidity. I'm not saying that's a good thing, by the way, but sometimes it is literally best to just go and buy it and forget you've got it. And, you know, that kind of be where you get to. Like, so many people right now, so many people will be freaking out about this. They'll be like, oh my God, that's the cycle top. Cycle top's in, 125k. We're done, right? We're done. No. Come on, people. Come on, people. Not okay. Look at this. Got the 1618 Fibonacci extension at $136,000. That is my next price target. That's where I think we're going to head to. If we get another institutional buying that we've got, this will be the next layer that I think will be the consolidation level. Between 132 and 136,000. I think we probably get there in the next 2 weeks. Playing out then favorably to go to the 2618 Fibonacci, which is 153, and maybe super bull case we get to the 3618. But you know, my target's about here somewhere, isn't it? 160 by the end of October. I mean, people go, Trubit, you're absolutely crazy. Yeah, well, let's see where we end up in the next 24 hours. I think that could be an interesting one. But yeah, 132 to 136, my next price target based upon just what we're seeing and obviously how these chart patterns are playing out. So yeah, we will see. Highest weekly BTC closing coming. Is it? Yeah. No, it isn't. Is it? No, it's not. Do you mean the highest weekly candle close, or do you mean just the highest weekly topped? Oh no, sorry, yeah, no, I'm talking nonsense. Sorry, Holmes. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100% candle close. Yeah, so we've had, what do we have? The top before was 119. So this will be, I mean, look at that though as a candle close. I mean, it's 2.5% higher than our previous weekly close. That's freaking bullish, baby. That is bullish. Yeah, sorry, Holmes. You're absolutely 100% right there. I just got a little bit confused. So yeah, so highest weekly close in history, and people are bearish on this move down. Okay, fine, whatever. I would say that was quite liberal, considering whether the people are actually talking about with 250 to a million. Yeah, a million is crazy, right? They're crazy people. I would unfollow them straight away. Like, Bitcoin is not going to $1 million this cycle. Not a chance, right? I would give it 99.9% chance that it's not. 0.01% that it could, if you're good at maths. 200k. Look, my theory around 200k is it has to extend into 2026. And not just like the first week in January. It has to really extend into 2026. You're talking like March, April, May. That's kind of where I would expect us. If we get into that place, definitely you could argue for 200, 250k. Why? Because you're going to see way more institutional buy-in. You're going to see way more retail deciding to get into the market. You'll probably see some sort of crazy stuff going on. You'll definitely get some sort of reserves. I mean, the fact that Bukele, whatever he's called, the El Salvador president, is sort of flexing the $400 million profit his country's made. Like, that's hard to resist. So you're then going to get, you know, imagine the US had dumped $1 billion into Bitcoin when Trump took office. I mean, what would that have looked like? You know, I mean, they would have paid freaking God knows what on the debt. I mean, it would have crashed the market. When did Trump get in? January. Well, he got voted in November, right? But he could officially do something in like January 21st, something, wasn't it here? Bitcoin was what? 104,000. Let's do some maths with 2-bit. Who's ready for some maths? So let's say they put $1 billion into cryptocurrency, divide by 102,000, would have bought them 9,803 Bitcoin times by 125,000. They would have made $225 million. All right, that's not the worst number in the world. What about if they put $10 billion in? Then they made $1.2 billion. Oh my God. Think about that. That's what I mean. Like, if you get to 2025, if you get to 2026, then you could argue and say, well, okay, then maybe I will let us, no matter on a Sunday, I will let us go to that point. I will say, okay, fine, 2026, cool. I'll go to 200k, maybe 250. We'll have to see. 420, what's going on, pal? Now, Bitcoin is having a nice little rally. This will be a build on the shorts, by the way. Shorts will now be getting absolutely smashed to pieces. Let's take a look at it right now. Just a little bit of a spicy metric. No maths on it. Yeah, 250k is possible, in my opinion. Need a lot of... Yeah, I agree. Northern Detectorist. What's going on, pal? Welcome in. Man, it's because I'm wearing a white shirt, by the way. I find it really difficult to see the comments. And there's no other way to kind of set it, so you can't. Yeah, agree 2-bit. It will go up, but not that high. Yeah, I think so. 12k likes. Let's go, baby. Pull back tomorrow 2-bit or higher. I think you got to wait and see. I know that's like literally the most on the fence answer you've ever heard in your entire life, but I think you got to wait and see what the institutional demand is going to be. Remember, the UK is going to unleash ETFs for UK customers. That means you can invest in Europe, in the in American markets, right? Is that going to be the biggest inflow of money? Probably not, right? Let's just call it as it is. But it is something. And then if you then get double down, so what we could see tomorrow morning will be, but let's bring Asia's pre-market data up because that might give us a little bit more. If Asia comes in on the pre-markets hot, then they might go, holy shit, this is going to go crazy. Like the US are going to buy a lot of cryptocurrency. Then we may get this, may get kind of a pump from Asia. European markets may stay as is, unless there is like some huge demand for ETFs, but I don't think so, by the way. Bear in mind, they can invest in ETPs at the minute. Then we might get interested. So look at this. So the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is going to be slightly down. The Nikkei, though, holy shit, the Nikkei's going to do 2% on pre-market. That's pretty interesting. Shanghai at 0.5. Do you know what? Asia might pump the market a little bit. I don't know if it'd be super crazy, but man, they may push us back to maybe 124. I mean, it depends what we close at right now. It looks like BTC might retest 123 right now. Could be a sign that, yeah, Asia's coming in. People may be looking at these pre-markets and thinking, this could get pretty interesting in, yeah, so the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is in an uptrend as well, by the way. Yeah, the Nikkei's probably the one to look at. Yeah, unchanged on gold. Okay, that's fine. Volatility index looks like it's going to be pretty flat as well. Where do we get to? I mean, it's super early to even be looking at this, really. But yeah, New York. So the US looks like it'll open pretty favorably. And the UK, where's the FTSE? Here it is. Up a little bit. Yeah, you know what? It might end up being tasty tomorrow. Let's fingers crossed, eh? What I don't want to see, this massive push to like 125 again. I don't want to see 3% moved at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't want to see that. I'd rather see us grind up to like 124, 125. That's what I want to see. I think whenever you see this like big push, you always then tend to see a big dump. It happened in history. Look at it here. Look. So we saw a big push followed by, that's really awkward. Big push here, look, dump, big push, dump, big push, dump, big push, dump. You know, at the minute, we haven't really seen it. Hopefully this is the dump for this. I have to say. Get more bullish than Tim Share. Yeah, bullish on Tim Share. That example I was going to show you, by the way, where I was talking about how, you know, people just freak out and that this is a deliberate way of kind of manipulating markets. You can see this happening right now, in my opinion, by the way, with XCL. And obviously this went crazy, broke 30 odd million. Anyone who got into this, well done. You made an absolute killing. Hopefully you sold some. Calamari, I know you messaged me and I hope you were sensible. You can kind of see this right now. Like this is kind of exchanges on a smaller scale, in my opinion, by the way, because you've got these big dumperinos from Wales. Someone clipped 100K, like everyone's buying back in. Like, look at some of this crazy stuff that's happening right now. Just massive amounts of selling pressure. Now, this will go one or two ways. It'll either kill the project entirely and it'll go to freaking zero, or what you do is you get all the early wallets out. They take their bags, and then all of a sudden this ends up being the floor, and then boom, it goes way higher. I think they could definitely do some big numbers again on this project. I did do a video on it. Worthwhile thinking about it, but you can kind of see what's happening right now, and you can kind of definitely see how this is playing out. You can, the other way to look at it, by the way, is if you look at it on a smaller time frame and you then see how big the wicks, etc. are, but you can sort of see where this is playing out right now. So these are just, you know, big, these are it's not fair, actually. I'm not going to call them uneducated people. These are, what's the word? Just unscrupulous whales or people that have never made this sort of money before in their life. They just dump an entire bag. Someone clipped 100K on a 125K sell. That should tell you exactly what you need to know. So they had $125,000 and sold it all in one clip to take 100,000. Now you may say, well, who cares, bro? I took 100,000 out. Yeah, but you still missed out on 25K. Like, I don't care how much money you got. 25K is 25K. But yeah, that dumped to 0.015 and bounced back straight to 0.03. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. And, you know, exactly the same is happening there. This is kind of shaking out early investors. If you truly want a project to go on higher, 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, $1 billion, whatever it is, you've got to get these because think about it, right? So think about that 100K wallet. That 100K wallet would be $1 million in let's say it lost another zero. So it goes to 10 cent. That wallet becomes $1 million. That becomes a very big risk. So, you know, like I said, it'll either go one or two ways. This will either kill this project and its top will have been, what, $33, $34, $35 million market cap, or or this is a deliberate way of shaking out people with very big bags to then start to push this higher. The test will be over the course of the next 24 hours. Do we then start to see this kind of big old push back in, big money flowing back in? We'll see. We'll see. Best buys today. I mean, altcoins are probably your best bet. BTC is rallying a little bit, so it's going to flick altcoins. I mean, ETH at 4,500. I mean, there are some pretty good ones out there. I mean, I would argue Asta feels like a bit of a steal right now. 184, down 10%. Still looks very bullish. CZ's going big on the BNB chain as well. You know, that's probably your biggest opportunity. I think a lot of memes. I mean, did you see Pengu was at the Formula One? That's pretty interesting as well. But I think if we break above 123 and hold, then, yeah, I think we could begin for some pretty good news. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to see anything super crazy right now on BTC. I think just a nice little pushback to the upside would be favorable going into this next week. There's not really a lot happening this week. It's all a little bit quiet. And if you look at the calendar, bear in mind, loads of stuff's going to be closed. So we're not going to get it. We'll have to kind of wait and see. So what have we got? You know, nothing tomorrow, really. Consumer credit, maybe. I don't think it's going to be a big thing. These could be interesting. We know that Bostic is super bearish on crypto and inflation data and hates Donald Trump. I'm not, by the way, it's not political. Bowman could be an interesting one. She's super bullish. Thinks we could be doing 50 basis point cuts. This will be a good one as well. Stephen Mirren again talking on Tuesday. So this is going to be a super crazy day on Tuesday. We don't get Powell speaking, though. I don't think he speaks till maybe Thursday or something like that, is it? Does he speak on Thursday? Can't remember. That'll be an interesting one. 8 o'clock on Wednesday. FOMC minutes are going to come out. This will just give us a view as to what the discussions were at the last one. And there he is. Yeah, Thursday. I thought so. Jerome Powell is going to be speaking on Thursday. And then we get, obviously, jobless claims, etc. coming in. If the government opens again. If not, then, you know, we probably won't. And then you get into next week. Next week's where it's all going to get a bit spicy. Core PPI, core CPI. Maybe Trump wants to keep the government closed. There we go. 123 on BTC. It's on the move. I've got to do it while I was out. I missed it. Oh, bro, what do you mean? You missed it. I told you to sell some. Well, I didn't tell you to sell some, actually. I said just be sensible. Any double tops on Bitcoin coming? Double top? Not really. I think the double bottom's in play at the minute. Double bottom's here, look. And the old famous W pattern. We just need to see this breakout on the W pattern. That would confirm that pattern. Thoughts on Grippy's performance on the day? I haven't looked at it on the day, but it was going in. I mean, yesterday was just a crazy day for loads of coins. It broke 8 million. I mean, we called that in our premium Discord at 700k, 771, I think it was. So 5.63. I mean, look, it's still holding up pretty well. I don't know what it is on the day. Let's do the 12-hour. I mean, that's not the worst. Yeah, it's probably got a dump. Don't forget, this broke $8.6 million market cap. That's a great looking chart, by the way. Now, I'm not telling you to go buy it, but we did put this in our premium Discord. If you want to get that, become a channel member. You get access to it or subscribe here on TikTok. But yeah, we called that 770k. So grats if you got into that bad boy. Jazzbeer says wrecked. Yeah, don't miss that. Don't miss that, by the way. Check out this. I was doing some stuff with the dev team, not me. If you are interested, yeah, coming soon. You don't want to miss this. wreckedrabbit.com. Go and check it out. Oh man, this isn't right. This isn't right. Oh, why is it doing that? I need to clear how do you clear the cache from a specific thing? Anyone know? How do we clear the cache? That's not what we need to do. How do I clear? Oh, here we go. I think it's this. History. No. Delete browsing data. I don't want to delete it for this specific site. How do I delete it for this site? Anyone know? Anyone at all know how I delete it for a specific site? Craig says wreckrabbit.io. It's not .io, Craig. It's .com, you silly sod. I know they're hinting at listing on exchanges. Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah. Man, it's because there's something different about... I changed the site. And that is not how it looks. How do you delete the cache? Someone tell me. Come on. Nadar says, no, what's that says? Do you think we'll have a big rate cut in the next FOMC? No, not at all. We may even not. I said this earlier. We may not even get a rate cut. And I know people don't want to hear that. I know people are freaking out about it. I know people will be like, oh, what do you mean? We're not going to get a rate cut. But yeah. I'll talk about that in a different live stream, different video. It's not for tonight. But yeah. I don't think so. I think at the minute we'll be lucky to get a 25 basis point cut, if I'm dead honest. Right. Cached images and files. Maybe it's just that one. Okay, I'm just going to delete this. Hopefully this doesn't cock everything up. Right. Let's refresh this. Has this worked? Has this worked? Let's fingers crossed it has. Yeah. Woo. Look at that. Looks way cooler. Way cooler than the last bit, doesn't it? I think that looks better anyway. That's just my opinion. Rate is basically backed and judging by the percentage. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. So yeah. Yeah, I deleted that picture. This is all way. I mean, I didn't, by the way, the team that are building this project did. Not me. Not me. Good. But yeah, check it out. RecRabbit.com. Worth sticking on your list. Not financial advice. Buy alts today or wait till Thursday? Good question. I mean, I don't necessarily think that... I mean, it depends what altcoins. If you're going to go out and buy Asta, that's probably not a bad shout. It's down 10.5% on the day. If you're going to go out and buy Zebek as an example, which I think is rallying because the market's dumping, yeah, 10%, no freaking surprise. We talked about this line on Zebek. If you remember, we were discussing this last week on the last live stream, actually. This kind of key level here, it did break it. We said if we look for the break on Zebek, you might get an opportunity for an upside move. That's exactly what happened. So yeah, Zebek got the break and started to push. Now, this may go a little bit further. It depends, by the way. If the market continues and market comes with us, then Zebek's probably going to reverse. But that's why I sold it. I couldn't deal with Zebek's volatility, in fairness. But yeah. What market cap is Rec going to come out? I think it'll end up being about... I don't know. Anything between 500,000 and like 600k, I think. Don't forget, we've got a slightly different... So the supply is 100 million versus a billion. So it's slightly different to Marbits. We, I want it, not me, the dev team, yeah, wanting to debate making the $1 dream a little bit easier. So yeah, it's going to be slightly different. That's why the airdrops will be slightly different as well. But yeah, that is the plan. And yeah, should be out hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So don't miss it. Make sure you follow all the social medias. Make sure you're in the Telegram group. That's what I would say. Collector's card, good buy or not? I have no idea what that even is. Collector's card. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. Yeah, smash up the like button, everybody. I told you what had happened. We've had a bad day. We've had a bad day. YouTube were like, oh, hold on a minute. This guy's actually getting some traction on his videos. Slap a bloody copyright strike on him. No, it's not a copyright strike, actually. It's something else. So hit the like button. It does help out massively. I told you, yeah, it feels light on view count. Hums, honestly, I got a strike for harmful content. Telling you, happened last time. And then in the week, they deleted it all. I'll tell them you're here. Stop laughing, you. It's a joke, right? I need to stop talking about it because it winds me up. So anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to something way more interesting. Let's talk about. I tell you what we're going to talk about. This is going to be the most exciting thing we'll talk about all night. Let's talk about interest rates. All right, let's talk about that. Yeah, let's stop talking about the fact that YouTube have scammed me today. Right, move on. Yeah, I don't know what collector's card is, by the way. I've no idea what it is. I knew this was XRPC. Shut up. Oh, dear me. I knew this was harmful content. Get out of here. You lot are half the problem. What I like the most, though, Alvin, is you've put only 31 likes and someone has actually unliked this stream. I don't know why I bother. I don't know why I bother with you lot. Complete waste of my time. I could be doing something way more interesting right now, like a jigsaw puzzle or something. Anyway, this is the actual data, by the way. FOMC expectations is 96%. I definitely want to talk about this though, because the US government shutdown could end up being a disaster. We might not get this. We might not get this. Exactly my thoughts, Sitecoin. We might not get this. Now, I'm in a world where I think we do. And then likewise, expectation is 2 further rate cuts, 50 basis points by the end of the year. I think we could, if we get strong data, by the way, we definitely could get a little bit more in this by the end of the year. I think this could be very optimistic, but yeah, we'll see. Charts are green up on the out. Yeah, Bitcoin just dropped back below 123. So 122,981. I just want to close green on the day. I think a close green on the day continues this. That would be 5 days of continuation. And don't forget, by the way, we'll have gone from 108 to 123. Let's call it that. Let's see what we close out as. But that's a solid move over the course of like 8 days. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So, yeah. Don't forget, by the way, tap the screen here on TikTok. We just got to, where are we at? Like nearly like 15,000 likes, something? What data should we have this week? Not a lot. You got consumer credit coming out tomorrow, and there's a couple of Fed speeches. It's all next week. CPI is coming in, core CPI next week. So it's all next week. Cool down here really wouldn't be a bad thing. No, consolidation sideways would be fine, I think. Couple of days. Like I said, I said that earlier on. A continuation, a grind up, I'm cool with. What I don't want to see is like some crazy 3% pump again. I don't want to see that. Don't knock jigsaw puzzles I do it every week. Hey, keep the brain sharp. I do. Well, I don't. I was going to literally tell you guys a lie then. I was going to be like, oh, I do a Sudoku, but I don't. I did one on the flight last week when I was going to Spain. Crushed it, obviously. On extremely hard. It wasn't on extremely hard. It was on easy. All right, I'll stop lying to you guys. Get out of here. Yeah. All right, cool. Right, I don't really have anything else to talk about. Come on, someone give me something fun to talk about. You think it possibly is something about Trump tomorrow, Tuesday, about the government shutdown? I think they're not going to do it. And I've watched a little bit on it, and I've tried to keep up to speed with what's going on. I believe it's to do with some what do they call it? Not rebuttal. What's the word I'm looking for? Like repeasement or something of some stuff in the big beautiful bill. I believe that's what it is. That's certainly what I was looking when I was listening to some of the news. So I don't think they're going to budge on it. I think the Israel-Gaza thing could end up being pretty interesting. We'll see how that plays out this week. None of which I think really affects anything to do with the crypto market, but it's just important to be more bullish than the top commenter here, 37 Hopper. That's the thing. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's some like Navy thing ahead, isn't there? So yeah, 16,000. Let's get it. Love it. Quantitative easing. Well, let's hope so. I mean, you're not going to get a true indication. We'll see. I mean, you're going to get Stephen Mirren will be an interesting one. Bear in mind, he was the only Fed person to go 50 basis points at the previous cut that they only did 25. You've got Bostic, who is like the other way. He's like, no, we should be putting the brakes on. Like, markets are fine. Jobs are okay. I mean, if you look, I don't know if I can get this data up, by the way. I touched on this in my video that you can't see right now because YouTube have removed it. But if you look at long-term employment for the US, it's actually pretty good. And a lot of the jobs data, is showing short term, which actually means that wage growth is fine, which is how you sort of boost the economy. So, yeah, so that's definitely what I don't think I can find it really. So people are staying with employers for longer, which is generally a good thing. So you can see kind of markets are staying more and more with employers, which supports wage growth, etc., etc., etc. You know, companies obviously like people that stay with them longer than not. But that data is obviously pretty skewed. To be the labor stats are off. I mean, do you mean off as in they're not right? XRPs, I don't know whether to believe it or not. What is up with the digital ID? Yeah, Fairground, it's coming, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And people will say, well, I mean, we're getting way off topic here, but people will go, well, they have it in Europe. Not what the government are proposing in this country, by the way. And I'm conscious I don't want to get into, I don't need a ban on TikTok as well. That'd be a disaster, wouldn't it, tonight? But you got to ask yourself the question. What's going on, Sean? You got to ask yourself the question. This is the question to ask, right? If I've got a passport that basically tells people who I am and that I can freely move between my country I live in and somewhere else, and I have a national insurance identification that tells people that I am a registered citizen of this country, what do I need a digital ID for? Well, I'll tell you what I need a digital ID for. To put everything else on there. To tell you whether I've been a good person, bad person, naughty person, social media, superstar, whatever it is. It's not good. We shouldn't be, I don't think we should be at all embracing digital IDs, but that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Asta or Hyper? Asta. There you are. Boom! I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I would argue Asta has a bigger opportunity right now. Hyper's at what, $24? Something like that? There are many people switching to off the books for safety reasons. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And so people can have... Well, I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine you have a central data point in which stores everything about every single person that lives in this country, right? What car you drive, what house you live at, how many people you've associated with, right? And it's all on a centralized... It's all on a centralized computer system, okay? All right, cool. Well, you kind of then go, okay, they freaking hacked the pissing MOD, for Christ's sake. If they're going to hack the MOD, they're probably going to be able to get into this. It's absolute nonsense, okay? I'm going to get banned here if I'm not careful, so we're going to move on. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Central database owned by the government sounds like... Yeah, exactly. Sounds like a complete joke. Dystopian nightmare. Anyway, I think PiCoin will surprise people soon. There seem to be a lot of shops and dealerships opening recently. What is it at? This is probably where me and you will disagree, I think, Craig, because I think PiCoin is rubbish. What price is it at? I think it was like 25 cents the last time we looked at it. Let's have a look. Still at 25 cents. Okay, so it's not a disaster. Not a disaster. I mean, it's certainly not great though. I mean, depending on what chart you look at, it looks a little bit like a rugged meme coin. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, but I could find you a number of charts that look like that. I guess it depends. The point here is that it's free coins, isn't it? It's free, so even if you get $20 out of it, as long as it covered the cost of your electric, it's fine. What do you think happens this week ahead? Gary, I think two scenarios play out, by the way. And I will probably refer to the Big Sunday report that we put in the Discord channel. If you want to get access to that, by the way, subscribe to here on TikTok or become a channel member on YouTube. Definitely worthwhile. What we said was the 20... Hold on, where is it? Sunday report. Yeah, short-term BTC is still looking very strong with profit taking still in full effect. This, I think, will maintain through the next 24 hours, setting up for a stronger start to the week. That was literally what I posted 11:03 last night. Plays out perfectly. I mean, that literally has played out perfectly, as we said. The 20-day EMA has crossed the 50, showing a short-term bullish crossover, suggesting upward continuation and more price movement ahead. Price is well above the 200-day MA, confirming the broader bullish move and continuation of this pattern. The high volume node around 118 to 120 acted as support during the recent breakout. There's a thin volume area above 122, meaning there's a potential for a quick move up towards 125, maybe 127 before hitting heavier resistance. That sounds like it played out absolutely freaking perfect. Okay, what is the expectations there for the week? Likely to consolidate or pull back slightly after the recent surge. The fact that we're seeing more and more BTC leaving exchange only confirms this move will go much higher. This will be a good indicator through the week of sentiment. Okay, so again, watch what happens with Bitcoin exchanges to give you an idea as to where this market is going to go. So how do I then think it's going to then play out? My view is this week, I want to see, and I think we'll see now, a grind up. All right, so I think we'll grind back up to like 125 range. Doesn't mean that we can't see a day of volatility. Doesn't mean we couldn't see a retest of this lower, 120, between 120 and 122, I think wouldn't be the worst number in the world to think about. Why? Because that's where we found some good solid support. If we were to put a little rectangulano in here, which would be around this sort of level here, wouldn't it? You would be sort of this kind of range, I think, on a daily. This is probably where you'd want to... Hold on, you guys can't see it. I just realized you can't see this. This is kind of where you may get a retest. If you were to look at it on, say, the 12-hour, you can see there, look, right now, we did actually come down and totally retest this upper range. Look on the 4-hour. We actually went into the lower range. So I actually think... By the way, I did that on the daily charts, just FYI. So I think this is probably needs to just come a little bit. Yeah, probably there. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is probably where we need to kind of see this key level. So I'd be watching this. It looks like on the 4-hour chart, we have a bounce, which is good news. And this is what I'm seeing. We could just see this now grind back up slowly but surely. And then this will become the new retest point here. Do we get this break above this line? This is going to be the key indicator. We could invalidate right now and come back down. We still, though, on the 4-hour chart are printing higher highs. This is a nice upward trend. Okay, so this isn't super bearish at all. The only invalidation point would be if this then rolls over and we come back down and retest this low range here, and then we maybe come back down. A couple of key points to think about, but on the 4 hour, this is kind of how I just think it'll continue right now. I just think this pattern plays out. So you can see way more bullish momentum. This is a key indication here. 50-day EMA crossing the 200, showing bullish sentiment. Likewise, the 20 going over the 50, like here. This is confirmation of the move. Goes up as well. Now, you could argue and say, well, 2-bit, I want to look at something even more exciting. Well, guess what? I have that for you right now. Bosh! Here we go. What does this show us? Selling into strength, confirming that the continuation to the upside is still happening right now. This is on the 15-minute chart, by the way. We're looking for a buy signal to come in. The buy signal would tell us that we are at the bottom. So as of this, it's telling us that the continuation is still, by the way, to the upside. If you're interested in checking that signal indicator out, the link is in the description. So there we go. That's where I get. Hopefully that kind of explains where I'm at. I think this week's going to be interesting. Tomorrow will be the key. You know, see what tomorrow brings. Do we get a big move or not? Do we get buying pressure coming in? Do ETF volumes come skyrocketing? That's what you're going to have to wait and see. That's my opinion anyway. Bitcoin will go higher, I believe. Yeah, I think so as well. Doge. I mean, Doge has been doing all right, in fairness. They will be shutting down people accounts. Yeah, tell me about it, mate. Tell me about, what about Crow? What's Crow doing right now? I don't think I've checked it recently. Crow coin is, where are we at? 20 cents. Man, that is definitely pushing down. I'd argue Crow is at a bit of a resistance line right now. You're going to have to keep your eyes on what is going on. This looks, I mean, it looks a little bit bearish. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's see what it looks like on the old Fibonacci retracement. Your lower end 19.4 would be your key level on Crow for a break. It is currently holding the 50-day EMA, so if it breaks back to the upside, you might be okay. Broader market sentiment could be good news, but Crow looks a little bit weak right now. Bitcoin Bijan with a $10 donation says, thought on Toshi. Big move coming. Man, all I've been seeing is people talking about Toshi, actually. That's a genuine truth as well. What is Toshi doing right now? It is at a 336 million. That's crazy. Let's take a look and see what it's doing right now. What are we on here? We're on the 12 hours. Let's go to the daily charts. I mean, look, I think I said this last time that I was here. The Toshi chart is really interesting because you have this really strong continuation to the upside, which this support line seems to be, you know, seems to be really supporting this kind of narrative. Now, you argue that this is on its way up, which could be good news, by the way. Do we see it break back above all-time highs around weight team? It's got a while to go right now, but what does a big move look like in this sort of market? At the minute, it's grinding up, and if it's grinding up, then that's kind of good news. You probably need to see something break above the, like, you probably need to see it lose another zero to give you some confirmation, because that would then say it's the highest it's been outside of its initial move. So that's what I'll be looking for Toshi right now. I mean, look, the short term, it looks pretty optimistic. Looks pretty optimistic if you ask me. And yeah, fingers crossed it'll continue to the upside. I've got a good bag of XRP on Pinklink. Do you think I'll have a good bull run? I mean, we're well into the bull run right now, Gary. And depending on when you bought XRP, you should already be in a good place. I don't know what your initial buying price is. For example, I've got XRP as well as many of my community have. We all bought in at around between 30 cents and 45 cents. So yeah, pretty good news at the minute. Again, all depends on where you bought in and how you've played it. But yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty good bags. I hold 2 of those myself. I don't hold Pinklink. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I hold the other 2. Craig, clearly not. Oh, so that homes, not just shops that accept Pi, but actually specific Pi retail outlets all over. Oh, really? Yeah, don't know. What do you think about next week? I think, look, I think we just grind up. Depending on where we close today, we have to close green, all right? If we don't close green, it could be a little bit painful because I think people would lose. What the hell was that? I think people would lose a little bit of optimism in the market. That'd be my opinion. People right now are a little bit bullish. You're going to get loads of news stories tomorrow, all talking about how Bitcoin went to an all-time high over the weekend and da-da-da-da. That could bring some new investments in, but yeah. HH, best coins to buy right now, altcoins. That's my view. VeChain price prediction. I mean, we talked about VeChain before. What did we say for VeChain? I can't remember. I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't even know where I've got it on my charts now. VeChain. Here it is. Here it is, VeChain on the daily. I think VeChain, by the way, will depend on the whole UFC thing. I mean, it's way down from an all-time... What was its all-time high? Like 27 cents something. I mean, maybe it breaks $1. I mean, look, you'll get a better indication of where everything's going to sit at the end of October. I think that's when you're going to get a true sentiment of what's happening with altcoins, etc., etc., etc. So I think it's going to be worthwhile. But yeah, I think currently sitting at 22. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, VChain, 2 cent 2. I'm all in Doge. Okay, that seems like a bad idea. But, I mean, again, if you're all in on Doge, it depends what you bought in at. I mean, right now, actually, Dogecoin looks okay. Depends what your price that you bought in. If you bought in at, for example, 48 cents, then that's probably not a good idea. But if you bought in the bottom, I mean, Dogecoin is kind of moving okay right now. It's definitely an upward trend. You're definitely printing higher highs on this second move. So you'd argue, you know, most of this year, but it's all going to depend on when you bought in, which is, look, I mean, that's the same can be said for every single coin out there, but is the Ondo ETF approved? No, not yet. There's no ETFs being approved. There's a debate that there's some XRP ones being done behind closed doors, but I don't know if that's true. We can't verify it, but no ETFs have been done. Whenever the government shut down, that you won't get some, which is kind of annoying. Tau bit sensor price prediction. We talked about that one before as well. I can't remember. I can't remember what we said, to be honest. I can't remember what we said. Can you check out Pink Link for me, please? I definitely will tomorrow. It's nearly 10 o'clock, so I'm going to get out of here in just a minute. But yeah, some people just buy in, don't they? They are first timers. Like, we've all been there. Everyone's been there. I mean, you'd be naive if you're like, oh no, never made a bad choice in my life. Like 100%, I went all in on BitConnect. All in. I was like, here's all my money, because I didn't know what the fuck anything else was. Like, people are just getting to the market. That's why memes do so well, isn't it? People just like ape into anything. They're like, yep, here's all my hard-earned cash. I'm going to put it into Pengu coin or whatever it is. Yeah, H-bar price prediction. Yeah, we talked about H-bar before. Can I get Astra on 212, bro? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. Is 212 like a trading thing? What is 212? Is it like a trading platform? I have no idea. I've never used that in my life. Why the hell would you use that? I mean, sorry, that's a bit rude, actually. Why would you use trading 212? Like, why would you ever use that? That's just awful. Just go and sign up for an account at, like, Binance or, yeah, just go and join a centralized exchange and buy it there. Or you can even buy it on DeFi, actually. I don't believe, yeah, so just, the official hook for trading 212 says, invest in stocks and ETFs commission-free with fractional shares, extended market hours, cash interest, and free demo account. No thanks. I don't think you actually own the particular coin or asset. I think it's all done with a bit weird. Like eToro, or, no. Just go and sign up for a crypto exchange, is my opinion. Anyway, it is, what time is it? Man, it's 10:05. 10:05. I've heard Robert Nova's a legend as well. He's not here, though. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Also, hit the follow button. I talk about cryptocurrency every single day of the week, other than Saturdays. I'm here 6 days, keeping you dialed into this freaking market. By the way, if you want to get access to that premium Discord, subscribe here on TikTok or become a channel member on YouTube. And that gives you access. Trade alerts, alpha coins, our 2 recent ones have done very, very well, actually. And we called pretty much this move in the market in the last 24 hours. So if you want to get access to that, feel free to grab a membership or grab a subscription worth your time. It's about $8 a month. I mean, literally. Yeah. Worth it. And as always, I will be back tomorrow night for more cryptocurrency content. Let's see what happens. We will see how this market plays out. If we get a close, I think in the green, we're probably going to be okay. If we don't, then it might be a little bit of a rollover market, and we may be ended up sort of, you know, a bit behind over the course of this week. However, stay close to it. It's going to be interesting. As always, though, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side.